and welcome to another episode of Photopeeps, the amateur photography channel. And we have got another guest with us today. Besides Big D, Daniel, hosting this with yourselves, we have got Paul Cunningham. So please welcome Paul.
Thank you.
How are you, Paul?
Thank you. Mate. Thanks for inviting me, Darren. It's been an honour coming on. Been watching your podcast, really enjoying them. And
this is going to be a change for you, isn't it? Because we've known each other for quite a while, and you're normally the interviewer, not the interviewee.
Yeah, God help me, for God's sake.
So I'm sure Daniel and Big D have got some questions for you.
Yeah.
What?
So. Absolutely brilliant.
1 minute.
Go on, guys, got prepped up.
So, nothing's prepped on this channel. It's all ad hoc. It's how it all goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, obviously Photopeeps, it's about the amateur photographers, all those guys, the weekend warriors and stuff. So a question we always ask everyone, how did you get into photography?
By accident, really. I was a tour guide in Edinburgh, and I used to take people around Edinburgh, up down the Royal Mile, in all weathers. And we invited a photographer onto our tours, where mainly he wanted to take pictures for our website, and we couldn't say no. And this guy kind of taught me everything I know with a camera. I'll say his name, John Dixon. He's not with us anymore. He passed away a couple of years ago. But he actually showed me how to use the camera and how to understand manual settings. Well, hey, because I hadn't a clue. I was pointing and shooting. I was like, yeah, oh, there, look at that, there's a castle. Hey, and I was just, it was like, why do you just like slow down a bit and just like look at things and start to see what they are? I went, what do you mean? Start taking pictures of close-up of, objects.
Yeah,
didn't get it. When you're starting photography, you just don't get that. So he did, that's how I got into photography. He showed me how to use the camera, using the proper settings. That was over 12, 13 years ago, I think it was now.
Right.
So yeah, about that.
And you haven't looked back since?
Yeah, I've had a stop-start kind of photography kind of thing, doing the podcasts and things. But no, I've started back into it again recently. So quite happy to get back out there in the woods, yeah.
Oh, nice one.
Cheers. Thanks.
And also, we've chatted before. I mean, I know Daniel, we're going to join the Landscape Lenscast podcast as well.
Yeah, bloody hell.
but why Woodland? Because obviously you've done a lot of street photography in the past, as has Daniel. So I'm sure Daniel will be asking you a few questions of why the change and stuff. But why Woodland?
Because I don't like people, really. I do. Of course we do. Because when we photographers, we take pictures for people to view. Of course we love people. But I'm quite shy with people. I like my own space.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say I'm copying guys like Simon Batzer because I love to be a tree. I find trees interesting, but I don't want to be the kind of person who wants to feel nature and then stand in the middle of a forest and say, can you feel the feelings of all these things? That's not me.
So you're not a hugger then? Sorry? You're not a big tree hugger where you hug them round? And
Yeah, the tree hug thing, I've never done it before in my life. Only when Michelle's not looking, I'll do it. But just on the point with Simon Baxter, these guys are great influencers, of course, taking away nothing from these guys. I mean, we've all watched the videos and I think we've all been inspired with these guys. So Woodland was kind of this just another type of photography I enjoyed because I was mainly getting uninterrupted. I could slow right down and enjoy the shots. And I kind of visited these places quite often as well. So yeah.
Oh, nice one. Have you guys got any question for Paul before we jump into the
so
images?
When you say Woodland, is that your immediate go-to for photography?
Yeah, I think so. No, I've kind of embraced it more. Where when I was doing street photography, like yourself, Daniel, I used to just take the camera, go out on a Saturday morning, walk up Edinburgh High Street, try to find places to photograph with people walking through certain sort of objects and things, and kind of do a bit of art photography. And Woodland I think it's because when I was doing street, I started to get a bit bored with the constant, almost like ducking and diving doing street, where you actually just can be sneaky, take a picture of someone. I'm not speaking for every street photographer, because that's just me. Remember that, guys, because street photography is a great art, great to get into.
So did you use 35mm by any chance?
Yeah. 35mm was tough.
That's the go-to, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's the go-to for street 35mm.
it's a good go-to lens. 50mm, nifty 50.
Yeah,
But yeah, I started to gravitate to the long lens when I started to get a bit kind of like, all right, okay, back off a bit. So you can actually, the good thing about a long lens in the street, you can back off and you can shoot from, 100mm away or whatever.
Yeah.
Just try to get away from the situation of feeling awkward. But yeah, I've done street photography pretty much for about 4 or 5 years. Mainly doing everything in monochrome. And I started doing colour when I started to stop it. And I just kind of got fed up and wanted to try something else. But yeah, that's how it started and sort of kind of finished.
So your street days in the past now, is that it?
Yeah, I mean, I do follow a lot of guys doing street photography because I enjoy walking to their work. And I've done a couple of street photos. I think it was when I was doing the podcast, Landscape Lenscast, because I wasn't getting out to the woodlands, so I was pretty much going to work, then going home, going back to work and going home. So I just kind of took the camera with me and started taking shots because I was getting bored. But I wasn't doing it in the case that I wanted to, put it on the social media or anything like that. No. Yeah.
You're just doing it for yourself.
Just for myself. Yeah, pretty much. That's all it was. Just myself.
Nice one. Daz, have you got any questions for Paul before we jump into the images?
So, what's your favourite image that you've taken woodland and where?
Yeah, good point. Thank you. Because that's pretty much the one I love to show all the time, and it's I featured it on the podcast we've done on Landscape Lenscast with Courtney Victoria and Greg Snail, and it was one of the it's a dead tree mainly in a forest in the Cameo State in Edinburgh, and it reaches out to all its limbs, kind of reach all corners of the actual image. It's a 1x1 crop, and you could actually get more than that if I wanted to get into it because it just goes on and goes on. But I thought, I just wanted to make it a bit more simple, and that's my favourite image. It's just because the trees, even in the winter time, you can take a shot of that because it's in a kind of little corner and there's not many leaves. Well, there isn't not many leaves in the area at that time of year, but what you're getting at, because of all the limbs are actually going over each other, it kind of takes away the sky, etc. So it's a good image to shoot. And if anyone's going up that way in Edinburgh, I do suggest going up and trying it themselves. Probably get some good shots.
Yeah, I think I've seen that image actually. Yeah.
Thanks. That is my favourite one. Yeah, that's my favourite.
Yeah. Good. What we'll do then, I'll attempt to screen share.
Oh yeah, don't worry.
Paul's images. Yeah. Well, everyone, this is Paul's first image, and as you can see by this, look at that moss. Yeah. So go on and Paul, talk us through this one.
Yeah, sure. So this is a day when I was I don't know if you guys ever got in a car one time, you don't know where you're going, and you just kind of keep on driving and driving. You don't know what location you want to go to, but you want to trip up somewhere and find somewhere that's quite good. So this is one of these days where I never had a composition in mind, a place to go to or anything. I just kind of set out in the car and I drove out to pretty much near Alloa in Scotland, and I found this little pocket of woodlands just off like a hard shoulder of the motorway, and I found a way to get into it. So anyway, rocked up and it was just like pretty much all kind of pine as you see there. But the whole place was covered in moss. It was just the light was actually coming from the canopy, and you see it's right in the bottom there, just kind of bringing the moss alive there. Yeah. And that's what stopped me. I had to kind of you keep on walking, and next minute the light just makes you stop. We're like moths, photographers, aren't we? We stop to light.
I mean, that light, that's just nice, soft and diffuse, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. I did take a lot of taking the highlights a little bit down a bit because it was kind of at the back of it on the right-hand side. I don't know if you can see it. It's a bit more lighter, but I managed to control that with some post-processing. So, yeah.
See, I found when I took a lot of moss images, I have to sometimes, believe it or not, desaturate the green.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did
you have to do that yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, well, the kind of more yellow if you see there into that as well, just to bring I don't want to take too much green away because the whole concept of the moss is green. Yeah. But yeah, I do agree with you. I pretty much desaturate green all the time in my woodland shots.
it's mad to think that we have to desaturate in post processing.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy because you
Crazy.
think, well, what's trees, what's a woodland, and it's green. And what do we do?
Well, yeah,
Just get rid of the green.
desaturate.
It's weird, isn't it? It's just
Yeah, it's madness.
it's easier on the eye, I think, for the person viewing it, and it just brings that kind of more less kind of overwhelming feeling of green.
I think that the tones and the trees and the moss, the balance as well.
Yeah.
Not one overpowers the other. And the same with the highlights. Any highlights, it's very well balanced. Actually, that's one of my two that I liked. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So this is right up your street as well, isn't it? Something like this.
It's just a nice image, isn't it? Just a nice image.
Yeah.
I mean, when you first sent us these, Paul, it was the moss that stood out for me.
Yeah, it's like a carpet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually
fallen trees behind.
Yeah, I mean, the last video I'd done before this one, it's going out tonight, was pretty much shot in a woodland that was quite bare. It was more like the middle of winter, actually. And it was just all mossy trees. And I think it's the only thing we can look for as woodland photographers. We can't find anything in the winter months is moss, because it's the only thing that can stand out and be appealing for the photographer, unless you're going for a tree portrait where you can actually just home into a tree and cut out the sky, etc. So I'm continuously looking for moss this time of year when it comes to the winter, because it just gives it's more of like it's more natural looking moss.
Yeah. Gives you another dynamic, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty much the same as I was going to say there, actually. Yeah,
very nice. Right, we'll go on to the next one.
Nice.
Here we go.
Yep. So this one, talk about green. I think Daniel mentioned about green there. As you can see, I've kind of diffused the green quite a lot in this image. And this one's going back about 7 years, this image, and I don't know why I've put it on, because maybe because I've not seen it for ages. I don't know. That's what
I'm going to say. Why not? Because it's absolutely this to me. It reminds me of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh yeah.
You got you got the big menacing trees, and you've got that big weird one on the right hand side just coming over.
Yeah.
It really
you see there's a ditch there as well. So this is pretty much West Lothian with Doug Milne stays. That's Doug from the podcast we had. So he's not far from where he stays, that area, and that's the edge of the woodland. As well, like to shoot in the edge of the woodland because you get better light, as we know. But what made it look better is that tree on the right hand side. There was nothing after that tree. It was just merely a car park, and you wouldn't know it. You'd think you're pretty much in the middle of the forest where the canopy's open, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
but no, that was just merely just about 5 minutes from a car park. You can see cars coming in, and we just angled it and just cropped out the car park and made the tree on the right hand side give that illusion it's a bit more broader, the woodland.
Yeah. And for us listeners and watchers, this is a perfect example of easy locations. Then just straight out of your car, and you're there.
Yeah.
And like Paul just mentioned there, that tree on the right hand side, it envisages it like a big woodland. So when I saw this, I thought you was in the middle of a woodland.
It is a big woodland. It's B. Craig's, quite a successful place for people walking around the woodlands, etc., with their dogs and all that kind of thing. So it's a well-known place people know in Scotland, and it's a great place to learn woodland photography because everything's in uniform. It's all pine, and you'll get the odd kind of gnarly kind of aspen or oak tree, etc., especially this one on the right-hand side. So it's like a young kind of not aspen. I think it might be. It's not an oak. It's some sapling anyway, but on the right-hand side, I could never identify it without fuller investigation. But what you've got there is that without that right-hand tree, or that tree on the right, you wouldn't have an image, I think. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, you're right there. Yeah, it's that right-hand image, that right-hand tree that sort of makes you look at the image.
Just gives it some balance, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's just balance as well. No, we'll look for that in a photograph, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
You mentioned there before about learning woodland photography.
Yeah.
Over the years, you've got more and more into woodland. What is the top tip you can remember, or what you can give out for people that want to try woodland?
Yeah, there is two, but I think everyone's top tip's the sky, but that's too obvious, missing out the sky. I think my one is mainly just interference into the picture, so nothing that's distracting the eye. So like a twig coming out from the right-hand side, which you can easily clone out, I suppose, these days. But try to get right in camera if you can. Of course, we'll all strive for that, but what's the matter with taking away an odd twig coming in from the right-hand side, let's face it.
Yeah.
So my tip is mainly expect the frames of the image, making sure nothing is interfering with it. And then if that's good, if you're good with air, when you set up your camera, you've got your composition, make sure your composition's dead on, and then that's you. But always inspect the edges of the frame, so there's no distractions, so the eye just kind of falls up to the corner or whatever. So I think it's, I don't know if it's Picasso, but someone's actually said you turn the picture upside down.
Yeah.
And I think we've all done that, don't we?
Yeah, turn it upside down and see what it looks like. Right, let's go on to the next one.
Yeah, this one, actually looking at it, it's probably a small file because it's not really, doesn't look that great. But this one is mainly just in the winter time, of course. You can see it's I call it a bony tree. It says nothing, it's lifeless, there's no leaves or nothing. So this is a birch tree. And this is going back about 2 years, I think. And it's round about the Petland. Don't know if you heard of the Petland Hills in Edinburgh. South of Edinburgh, going towards the borders. And it's pretty much a hilly terrain. It's all hills everywhere you go. And it's pockets of forest, etc. So it's quite a nice little kind of jaunt walking about if you want to go around Edinburgh. But you want to get away from the city, this is the place to go. So this is mainly, it was a crap day. It was like nothing was inspiring me. It was March. There was nothing coming across. The woodlands are kind of quite bare. And of course, there was a lot of people, dog walkers, etc. And I just couldn't, I just turned up too late that day.
Yeah.
And I just, I had the long lens on and I was just picking things out. And I saw these kind of birch trees on the side of a hill. And I kind of just like, one by one crop, go for that. And the sun was kind of like in and out. And you can see there in the top right-hand corner that you can see the light hit the top. That's what it shows. It's not heavy and vignetted. Vignetted. There's a bit kind of sort of manual vignetting when you kind of can draw the vignetting into it from Photoshop, but that's only on the top left and on the bottom left, I think it is. Yeah, bottom left. The rest of it is pretty much what it was. It was quite dark, but there was too much distraction. So it's just another tip for anyone who's actually doing woodland photography, or even any kind of photography. As long as it's not too obvious, vignetting's fine because it's just light. You're just controlling the light. You're not putting things into it. So, and it worked. It worked well. I think it would work even better if I had a better file for you guys there, because that's,
I'll tell you what, no, it still looks all right, Paul, as that.
Cheers, thanks.
And this isn't black and white either, is it?
No, it's colour. You can see the brown on the right-hand side there.
Yeah, you can just see a bit of the orange and brown, can't you, still coming through?
Yeah, that's the leaves of the birch. As you know, birch leaves can last right through, not through the winter, but pretty much in the sort of like, it's just like beech trees as well. They can keep their leaves as well. So it was kind of lucky to get that, just to get a bit of character in the tree.
So I must admit, I like this type of photography where the trees have gone and you see the skeletal form. You can see all the forms of the tree then.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, guys.
Hoarfrost, doesn't it?
Sorry?
Looks a bit like hoarfrost.
Yeah, doesn't it? That's it. I mean, I think that's what I like about the winter. People kind of write winter off when it comes to woodland photography, but if you just, as Darren said there, just getting that kind of skeletal look to the trees, getting gnarly kind of oak trees, there is things to do. I mean, sometimes you may have to use a long lens much more in the winter times as opposed to in the better months. But you can see here, you just pick things out during that time.
Yeah, it's very nice. That, like I say, with it being that that splash of colour in it, it really does make a difference as that.
Yeah, I've got two versions of it. I've done the black and white one as well, but I do agree with you. I prefer the colour version,
Yeah. It's just very subtle, isn't it? You think, oh, it's a great black and white, but when you start looking into it, you can just see the little hints of brown and orange.
Yeah, I've sold a few of these images as well, and one woman says, I think she said, what was it? The colour. She's like one of these pin cushions. I went, pin cushions? What do you mean by pin cushions? I went, in the 1960s, my husband bought me these pin cushions, and there was like these kind of birch trees on them. I was like, okay. I can send you an email with one on it. I said, that's okay, don't worry about it, it's okay. Really nice woman though. Don't want, if she's watching this, Christ,
she'd be wanting to make you tea and everything.
Oh, yeah, it's just pretty much it. No, but she was far away, but she loved it actually. She loved it.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, that was quite a funny story.
Oh, good. Daniel, Daz, have you got any questions for Paul on this image?
No.
When you say this was a long lens,
Yeah.
what's your go-to lens in woodland?
Good point. It's my go-to lens in a woodland. That's, oh Christ. I think a lot of people say also have one lens, don't they? But I don't. It just depends on the situation. I think we're all like that, anyway. But depends on the type of woodland you're shooting in. So, like, say for example, I'm not picking things out like this. If it's in a summer's day or whatever, springtime, I'll be shooting 14. 14 to 24 or something like that.
Quite wide,
Nice wide shot, and try to get a group of trees in. So if I'm looking to incorporate a group of trees, and if I'm doing tree portraits, then it's a long lens. So that'll be about 70 to 200, which is pretty much a decent focal length as well. No, I've also got a 400, hardly ever used because I think in Woodland Photography, to do that, you're gonna have to be quite far out on a house somewhere, and so it's not really for Woodland Photography. So about 70 to 200 and 14 to 24, I would say generally.
Yeah,
Yep,
I must admit, mentioning them lenses, I've got the 50 to 400, the Tamron for the Sony,
Nice.
and I'll tell you what, the amount of times I've got a 400mm lately.
It gives that compression, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Just gives you that background compression.
Exactly. I think compression's everything in it, because like you can just take away all the confusion or the chaos, as we say, etc. I think the big lenses are good for woodland photography. But no, wide lens is good if you've got like no sky, the canopy's closed, no distractions. Shoot wide all day. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, nice one. Right,
Sure.
let's go to the next one because there's still some nice images coming up here.
Oh, thanks. Oh, this one's just a slight kind of. This is my own kind of. I love this myself.
The textures.
It's the texture. Thanks. That's it, and the shape. So it's a kind of 2 pine trees you see there. I think it's not red pine, but it's kind of from that family. And one tree on the right hand side has got a slight bevel to it. It just looked quite interesting. The light kissing the side of the right hand side of the tree. And everything else is pretty much the sort of same kind of tone in the background. So it kind of stood out. This is a winter month as well. It's pretty much about sort of February time. Right. Yeah. Even though you see there's a lot of like greenery on these trees, but pine trees do keep a lot of greenery still.
Yeah, they do. The evergreens out there.
Yeah, evergreens, yeah. So these Douglas fir in the background there as well. So this tree on the right-hand side just caught my eye, and I thought, I was going to do that. But there's a lot of distractions above and below, and so I think it's gravitated to the 1x1 crop, and that's that shot. So yeah,
I think a nice intricate shots like this do tend to lead to one-to-one crops, don't they?
Yeah, that's it. That's a beautiful 1-to-1 crop, and it takes away a lot of distractions, and you just keep it nice and simple. I'm sorry, Thomas Heaton, for God's sake. That's my biggest bare bun. I absolutely hate when I do videos of like, I'm not going to sound like someone who's on YouTube already, And so I'll say a 1x1 crop. Yeah, that's it. Full stop.
When you took this image, did you envisage it as a 1x1 crop or not?
Yeah. Well, not in the case of vision, like I'm going out and say, right, I looked at that tree, that's 1x1 crop.
Yeah.
But after like sort of inspecting around it and looking above and looking below, then 1x1 was pretty much the obvious answer for it.
So did you try various other crops, or did you just settle on that 1-to-1? Did you try a 16x9 or 10x8?
If I tried a 16x9, I'd get a lot of things in it wouldn't add to the picture. So
you've looked at different crops and everything.
Yeah, I think what I wanted, Daniel, was trying to get like the 2 trees in the centre and just get that kind of simple look. Because everything else was pretty much not. It would actually make it look an average picture or make it look kind of a bit too. You lose the whole kind of feeling of the image, I think, if it was a bit bigger. So yeah, that's because we went for a simple shot there with that one.
Yeah, I just like the one on the left-hand side as well because you've got that bit of a broken branch.
Yeah, it spikes out. Yeah. This was in the Petlands as well in Edinburgh, so nice little place to visit.
Yeah. Did you work on the separation as well?
Yes, which is quite tough.
Yes, I was going to say in a pine woodland, I find it hard in pine.
Yes, the thing about pine is because it's all uniform and just kind of straight up and down. It's quite easy to line things up, but not separate. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So in this case, you can see there's a lot of trees in the background there, are pretty much overlapping each other right at the back there. That can't be helped in the way that I think because the eye is you're forgiven with this one because the eye is kind of on the 2 prominent trees there,
Yes.
pine trees. And I think what gets me with this one is the slight kind of bevel to the tree. It just looks out of place, so everything's kind of straight. I just liked that. It was just kind of, it was one of these pictures that you take for yourself, and as I kept on looking at it, I convinced myself it was great. So that's it. Because we do it, don't we? We'll take a picture of ourselves as well.
We all do it.
And
Well,
yeah.
But you mentioned taking pictures for yourself. Do you always go out and just take what you want, or do you think of other people as well when you're taking an image?
Good question, isn't it? I think I used to try to replicate other photographers when maybe about 7 years ago maybe, and then I found myself getting nowhere with that because I wasn't really seeing. I was just looking, but I wasn't seeing.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So kind of I think through just time I just started to, because I started taking interest in trees. One of my friends is in the Forestry Commission, etc., and he used to tell a lot of stories about working on it in the trees, etc. And it's just things like that, and I started to look at trees in a different way. And I kind of, even I've got like knowledge from YouTube, as I think a lot of us do actually these days, don't we?
I think YouTube is the go-to place now, isn't it?
Absolutely, of course it is, and it's a encyclopedia of photography these days, isn't it? So for everybody, and you guys have got your own kind of way of doing things as well, which is good. And that's a good thing about it. We all have our own kind of like spin on photography because it's art, subjective. Although if you go into a competition, it's not subjective; it's completely different. Roll it forwards, and you're not doing that in the leading line. It's just, I think it's mainly just what you like, shoot it, and just enjoy it. And if it works, it's a bonus. If it works, it's a bonus. If it's not, if you don't do it, keep it in your head. If you've got like obviously Lightroom's got a great thing for a catalogue of things. You look back in the years, see the image again, and you say, right, I'm going to try that maybe in a different month. There's the frost, etc. So you look at, in woodland photography, it's not as difficult as some people think. I think, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think it's that difficult.
Do you think people try to overdo woodland, look for something too complicated with it?
Yeah,
instead of looking at something for the simple side of things.
Yeah, I mean, some people like to embrace the chaos, as Simon Baxter says, but I think we all try to simplify his image. I don't feel if you guys feel that way. And some people like the images in situ, so like the forest in situ, where it should be. I think we'll have different kind of ways of looking at the forest.
Have you ever done an image in black and white in the woodland? Because I think this could work really well.
I have got in black and white, actually. I was kind of contemplating giving that to you, but I just...
We're thinking the same thing. What about you, Daniel? Have you done a black and white one? You and Daz?
In woodland?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I haven't. No, right. Off the top of my head.
Yeah. I've got a really big canvas on my wall in the living room, and that's a black and white woodland. And
cool.
With like sun rays coming through.
Yeah,
right.
And it just works. Just really.
I think for me, it has to be that light, that side light for the black and white.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of this image.
Yeah.
If the weather's flat, it's not going to work. Well, it might. It's subjective again, but I think for me, if it's black and white, you need that punch of highlights.
And black and white can hide a lot of mess on the floor, or
yes,
yeah.
When you first started photography and you looked at an image, you're going, "It's okay, but don't like it." Just chuck it in black and white.
The only reason I mentioned black and white for this image was just because of that texture and that side light coming through.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually. Yeah.
I think texture with a black and white image, it just kicks it off big time.
Yeah, I was outside a lock there, and the lights come from the lock because there was nothing there, no trees or anything, of course. So that's where the lights coming from. But as Daniel says, it's if it's in like a sort of overcast day, or it doesn't work. Well, this is an overcast day, but the light from the lock kind of helped emphasise the side of the pine tree.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, nice one. What we'll do, Paul, if you want to send the black and white one over as well.
Yeah, sure.
We'll put that on to the end of this podcast as well.
Absolutely, I'll do that. No worries at all.
See the difference of them. Right.
Cheers.
Let's go to this.
Oh, that's the old birch.
Yeah, I think the processing on this is absolutely lovely.
That background's so soft, isn't it?
Yeah, so like Daniel said again with the greens, exactly what I've done in this one is kind of diffused the greens big time in this one.
Very nice.
And got a brush and I went round to heather at the back, just touched up the heather. This is an old decaying birch tree, or birch trees. I think it's the same tree, of course. But if you look at the bottom of them, you guys probably know the age where at the bottom, if you look dark at the bottom, that's when they start to age. So this one's kind of also missed at the end of its life. They lived up to about 100 years, birch trees, compared to the other trees. So they've got a short, got a short lifespan. So they kind of break all the time. That's why you see a lot of broken birch trees.
Yeah.
And on the right hand side,
never knew that.
Yeah, on the right hand side is it's an ash tree, which to me the only thing about that image when I first done it, I had it in I think it was about 5x6. I done it in the camera. And so, as you know, a 5x6 is not much difference from a 1x1. It's just a little bit rectangle-ish as opposed to square. But the problem was, with right next to that ash tree, there was just all these kind of like dead woods, as in like logs, etc. Just crap over the place. And I thought, there was a cracking tree in the back, rowan tree with the berries on, the red berries.
Oh yeah.
And if you could only get someone to say, "Right, mate, come on, give me a hand here and get all this crap away," 2 seconds, But yeah, it's just it was a cracking little place there, and it's kind of Stirling, in Stirling and in Scotland. So it's a gateway to Highlands.
Yeah. What about your f-stop on this one then?
So good question as well, because that one, if I remember right, it's gone back a couple of years ago. This one, so I was using that's f.4, I think it was f4.5. I think it would be
right.
Because it's kind of falling away at the back a bit.
Yeah.
So I'd only done one shot with this one because you could probably see the pine trees in focus and everything's just dropping off a little bit.
Yeah.
The one shot image.
Yeah, well, it just brings the emphasis in, doesn't it? That birch.
Yeah,
Without really focusing, you get that natural drop off.
Yeah, exactly. If I stacked it, if I went for the ash tree at the back there and focused on that, I think it's too much to look at. You just want like a softer kind of approach to the image in this one.
Yeah.
I think in Woodland, the f-stop is quite key. I think.
Yeah,
just to give you that separation.
Absolutely, because there's so much chaos now in the background with all the twigs, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially when it comes to doing foggy images, even though the fog people think it does a separation, always still go for a shallow depth of field. I think.
Yeah, definitely. No, I like that one.
Thank you,
And,
thank you, man.
Thomas Eaton again, the 1x1 crop.
Oh yeah. Well, did he invent that? I'm going to tell you what. If Tom Seaton sees this video, Christ! I know you didn't invent the 1x1 crop, but you are a good photographer.
Leave a comment, Thomas.
These guys, go to my channel, please.
I'll just stop sharing this, and we'll go back to the.
Oh Christ! Oh.
We mentioned there, chatting away, Paul, that you mentioned Photoshop. What do you do mainly your editing in? Is it Lightroom, Photoshop?
Yeah, like pretty much we all do that, don't we? I think sometimes, Steve Stain, he does Lightroom mainly, doesn't he? So everyone's got their own way of doing things. So I'll go into Lightroom and I'll try to get right in Lightroom. And if I feel that something needs to be bringing out, a bit luminosity masking. Oh, Christ, I can't say that. Luminosity masking, and just go around the brush and just kind of bring out the layers that I'm wanting to paint. So that one there was mainly just the heather at the back. I didn't want to make it too obvious. I could just turn it up a tiny bit. But I'm thinking, subtleness, doing things like kind of small changes is a key in post-process, isn't it? Especially with Photoshop compared to because you get carried away with luminosity masking. I've done that quite a few times, and Christ, to see the images I've got there, I tell you, they're on lock and key. No one knows to see them.
Yeah. How about you two guys? Big D, Daniel, what do you use for your... Obviously, we all do Woodland.
Yeah.
What's your go-to for Woodland?
Lightroom.
Yeah.
Lightroom every time. Photoshop, maybe Photoshop for, like you said earlier about taking that little twig out. I know that with Lightroom, with the update, with the remove tool, it's been updated fantastically.
Yeah.
But my go-to for that is Photoshop, 100%. But the actual edit is Lightroom, definitely. Yeah. Every time. On most of my images.
I know Big D uses something totally different.
Well, you know me, Daz. I try and get it perfect in camera.
Yeah, good.
Because I'm still using Photoshop Elements 9.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Is that-
A lot of
never know.
people do-
And-
yeah, I do hear a lot of people do that with old versions of Photoshop
So
because
that's the basic Photoshop, really.
it's just been a light control, isn't it? That's what you want to do. You don't
Yeah.
want to make too many. Yeah, I get you, and that's all you need really. You don't need to pay about £10 a month to Adobe
Bit of
Portfolio.
dodge and burn, bit of removing
That's
healing
it.
and stuff. And
That's it. You can do too much, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, you can get carried away.
I always
Yeah.
take my time. Daz takes probably about 40 images to my one when we go out. There's always
It depends on conditions.
there's always 6 mile up road. And I'm still at the first location.
I always look for something different. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to do that though. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, on the past podcast, we've asked people what's their camera gear. What are you shooting with at the moment?
Okay, so I'm quite much a dinosaur. I'm still refusing to go mirrorless, not because of money, because I could have bought a mirrorless camera last year, but I spent on fixing the car, etc. I don't know. That's a sore point. I don't want to talk about that. I've got a D850 Nikon. I think it's a monster a camera. It's still beating cameras down today. It's a 45 megapixel, and I'm using lenses like 70 to 200 f.28 lens glass, and all my lenses are f.28s normally. So I've got the Holy Trilogy. That's the old Holy Trilogy.
The old school, yeah.
Yeah, you know what that one is. So that's like, of course, the 14 to 24, 70 to 200, and the
40 and 24,
24 to 70.
200.
24 to 70.
Yeah.
It's right in front of me here. And I've got a lot of lenses. I've got 14 lenses.
How
altogether.
many?
14.
14.
14.
Most of them are second hand. I mean, I had a crop sensor back in the day, so I had all these lenses, and I thought, people are like, oh, I'll just sell them, get better gear. I went, no, because I'm a hoarder. I'm keeping it.
14 lenses. I think I've got 3 or 4.
Yeah, I've got like I've also
If
got like the
if I haven't used it in 6 months, I'll sell it. That's it.
Yeah, I know what I mean. I think if I was going to step up to mirrorless and get all the gear all together, I would have to afford a camera, Nikon Z8 over. I just think they're overpriced.
Yeah.
Sensors are pretty much the same. It's a quality end of the day. It's like it's what you're getting the product in it. You want to get that product out. It's each to each other's own. I think mirrorless cameras are great. One thing though is preparation. What you're looking at the back of the screen, etc. All the little toys, gizmos it's got. With DLSR, it's like today's film camera now approaching to mirrorless camera.
Yeah.
Not as quite technical though. But yeah, I've shot in film as well. Quite enjoy that. I've still got a film camera, which it's the Nikon E2.
So you are a
battery
Nikon
grip
man
on it
then.
as well. That's the oldest battery grip ever.
Yeah.
This
know
is
Big
the
D.
street. This is my street camera.
Yeah, I'm still
Oh, yeah.
I'm still shooting in film as well.
Oh, nice. Right.
Yeah.
I've got one. I've got one somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Here's my lens. Here's my lens pouch.
Keep the coins in it as well. Oh, that's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you paid reference to what people use, and like we've said on many a time on the podcast, we're trying to aim towards the amateur photographer.
Yeah.
For me, these days, phones are getting scary.
Oh, yeah.
What's the best camera? Whatever's in your hand, whatever's in your pocket.
Absolutely.
Your phone these days is absolutely frightening, even to edit your images as well.
Yeah.
It's
It's scary.
Nikon, the iPhone 16 is 45 megapixel now. Believe it
See
or
what
not.
I mean? It's
I mean,
frightening.
the camera, look what the look at the sensor's bigger now as well. Well, it would be 45 megapixel, wouldn't it, Paul? I've tried it. I mean, I've actually done portraits with mucking about, with family, etc. And you can get great shallow depth of field. I think where it lacks is mainly if you're zooming. If you're trying to get like a long shot, maybe high definition depth of field kind of thing, you'll never get with that anything like that.
No,
they lack with that. You need proper lenses. You can't. You get a little kind of
Yeah.
Amazon kind of or Tinkery toy from Argos for it.
Nah.
They'll never come in. I think cameras were always king when it comes to that side. But I do.
And I think
though. I do.
a phone's good to work on your composition.
Oh yeah,
Just
definitely.
to frame a composition, just use your phone and you get an idea then.
Yeah, I do every time actually. Good point.
Mm.
But yeah,
Also, you use your phone to do the composition in the woodland.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just gives you that quick look, that quick glimpse, and think, oh, that'll work.
Yeah,
And phone shooting raw as well. So
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
think about the prices, like the iPhone 16, something like just under $1,000 or just over $1,000 if you're going for the professional one, Pro, I think it is called. It's scary. But even like Google Pixel, that's an amazing camera, and that's half. Well, that's 3/4 left of the price away. It's amazing what these phones can do for just point and shoot, and that's all it is, just point and shoot.
Yeah, point and shoot. That's all phones are, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all they are.
Take them
They're
memories.
annoying selfie sticks. I remember there was a girl with a selfie stick, and I was taking a picture. Can't remember, it was around Edinburgh years ago, and she whacked me with a selfie stick in the eye. Like Christ! I was like, sorry. Yeah, okay. I'm not from here. I mean, yeah, I noticed. Yeah. There's your selfie stick.
Hence, you like the woodland to get away from people.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. These bloody selfies, they're dangerous. These selfie sticks, isn't they? Christ.
Yeah.
So, but selfie meant something else in my day. Selfie didn't mean don't have a selfie in your bedroom. Anyway, that's another thing.
You do know we're leaving that in. I'll be left in.
Oh, Christ, Paul has a selfie in the bedroom. No, I don't.
Obviously, all amateurs photographers and stuff like that.
Sorry?
We're all amateur photographers.
Yeah.
We're not guaranteed the weather when we get out. Do you go out in any weather when you can? When you're in that frame of mind to go with your camera?
Yeah, I don't know about you guys. When you do woodland, I don't know. It's more challenging when you're doing landscape, as in you're in terrains and trying to look from hills, kind of, and also trying to get like the mist coming from a certain direction or light coming through to emphasise your subject. In woodlands, you can go in anywhere really. The only thing in woodlands, I'll say, I'll keep away from harsh light. That's it. I can't stand a winter morning when it's harsh light. I've got a polarizer on in the winter time, mainly using it because of that, but it doesn't really cut doesn't really cut through the ice, as it were. But yeah, I'll go on all weather conditions as much as I can. And if I do get like mist coming, whatever, I'll check the 5 apps I've got. 5 apps.
I tell you what, the weather apps are.
Don't get me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like that kind of thing. You get books. If you're reading history books, you go buy that 2 books that people said in history, like go with these 2 books.
Yeah,
it's like the apps, isn't it? It's like go with these 2 apps, agree with each other, and the rest of the apps don't. So yeah, it's that kind of thing where you go with the majority of what they say. Obviously, Mate Office.
It's all fingers crossed. It's going to happen.
Yeah, never does.
No, it don't. No.
I think the best weather app is just look out the window.
Yeah.
Look out the window and that's your weather app.
Yeah, I mean, you get out of the car, you ever just like driving, you see like, it's all a bit mist, because you're going through the country, etc. Right, get out, right, got the waterproofs on. Try to fasten my stomach here and get it down. Going across the fence, cutting over the fence, right in mud and everything, right up to your knees, and got all across, and then the usual happens, like the mist kind of diffuses away.
Yeah, it's all gone.
Harsh light.
Yeah.
It's crap. It's like God watching you.
Yeah. The other time I use harsh light in the woodland, if it's quite low, and then I go for that Sunstar. Try and get that. I always go for that Sunstar then.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always an option for silhouettes as well.
Yeah.
Silhouette in the woodland. That can be quite nice. That can work quite nice.
Yeah.
Easy to edit as well. Black and white. Bosh. Done.
Hey guys, you got me on that one. Every scene they were shooting harsh light. They're like, "Hey guys, we go here."
No. If I'm in a woodland and the harsh light comes, I'll try a Sunstar.
Yeah.
If that don't work, right, pub, coffee.
I was going to say, go to the pub.
If you're not too sure of the weather, Darren, you can just pull over at like some common complex area, or like a garage or a pub area, or whatever, and just
Yeah. No,
it's always dry in a bar.
It is.
always dry in a bar. Yeah.
These days, 9 out of 10, your pint always comes with a burger or a steak pie.
Yeah.
Don't know how that happens.
Mine's coming to another pint. That's it. And if I know it, I'm like going home, but I can't take the car.
So anyway, jumping back to the photography side of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
On a normal shoot, when you go out, what are the lenses you take with you?
Good point. So just the lenses in my bag now are the 24 to 70 and the 70-200, which I took out today.
I mean, that's all you need. 24 to 200. There you go. Two
That
lenses
covers,
done.
yeah, that pretty much covers it. I've got the wide lenses of it, but I don't touch that 14 to 24. Because there's the foliage and everything, the leaves are away. Yeah, so it's kind of longer lenses, yeah.
Nice one. And I know Big D shoots with a DSLR as well, don't he? Does?
Oh, nice. Yeah, keep it alive. Keep it alive, man.
Yeah.
And
So
I
you've got
carry
kind of-
every lens with me every time I go out.
Yeah.
As I think was it Daniel who carried the bag.
Yeah, the last time we were at Side Pike.
Side part, yeah.
And what was made
What did
reference
I
to
say?
a kitchen sink was it does.
Yeah. He passed me the bag, and I went, "What have you got in here? Feels like you got kitchen sink and everything." He went, "You've got
the reason I take
three bedroom flat in there as well. It was that heavy."
I think
the reason I take is every
I
lens.
Yeah.
I think I take every one because I don't want to be on location and think I wish I had my telephoto.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in that situation.
If you
I get
go
you.
onto Side Pike, say,
Yeah,
and a jet flies through,
yeah,
you haven't
you've got 20.
100 to 400
You got
here.
yeah. You're stamping your feet. That's it. The bag's over the edge. That's it. You're selling your kit, and that's it. You've had enough.
Yeah.
Toys out the pram, dummy on the floor, gone.
Yeah.
So that's why I
We've
carry
got
every
like
lens.
dog walkers as well. That just really, especially when vlogging, I can't talk. There's people walking about. You know, I'm kind of brick it, you know.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Paul is actually a YouTuber as well. Just gone through a nice upgrade on YouTube channel, Forest Frame.
Yeah. So it's just kind of, I think it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time is changing name. I thought you see a lot of photographers putting their name out there, and I'm thinking, is it really about? Is it about you, or is it about your images? So I thought Forest Frame, put that out. And yeah, I'm just trying to make it everything about photography. I'm actually slightly what you guys are doing, but on a smaller scale. Where I'm interviewing Woodland photographers only, and just to hear about their methods of doing things. And what we've heard tonight, everyone's got their own way of doing things in woodland photography. So my channel kind of focuses on that. And the funny thing is, when I changed the name to Forest Focus, my mate's like, "What's the name of your channel?" And I went, "It's Forest Focus." So 2 days later, he sends me, "How you doing?" I went, "Fine." So how you doing, Forrest Gump? Forest Focus, not Forrest Gump.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's kind of stuck in my head now. So I'm thinking Forrest Gump now instead of Forest Focus. You know, when you start with that, you're like, so that's kind of so. You go into Fiverr, you get logos all paid for, all that kind of thing, and then someone comes up and says Forrest Gump.
Time for a change.
Yeah, time for a change again. I'm not changing it again because I'm like, people are like, what the hell is he up to? So yeah, the channel's kind of like losing off just me going about with a camera and just talking about trees, etc. And mainly inviting people to come on. I do. I'm thinking of doing like book reviews as well on photographers' books. I kind of stole it off Julian Baird.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I stole off Julian Baird the idea. I think you wouldn't mind me saying that. Come on, we'll do it. Christ, no one created one by one crop. Thomas Ian.
yeah.
Leave a comment.
Exactly. Christ, everyone will think, "Oh no, I'll start that." So maybe doing like kind of forest photography books, all that kind of thing. Doing reviews on. Trying to get big names on at the moment. Not succeeding. But who knows what happens in the future? So watch this space. Watch this space.
Talking of big names, we don't see much of Simon Baxter anymore, really, do we?
Yeah, he's doing a lot with 617 Club, isn't he? With Thomas. Probably. I don't know. It's kind of like coming up with a new concept of one by one crop with both of them. I don't know. But no, it must be a good thing actually. It's quite not expensive, but £300, I think it is. For a month membership. But I'll tell you what, if you've got the money, and if you're looking to learn and then kind of like chat to these guys on a weekly basis, why not? I mean,
Yeah,
you've got to
I
be a
think
really
we talked about this, didn't we, on the F7.1 when we had that going,
yeah.
about the price
That
of
was good.
photography, not just the
Yeah.
gear, but the extras that come with it now.
Mm.
And that was part of it. Hence the free Facebook groups and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, and I think it's good for the community, and I think guys are adding to. I mean, it's getting a bit. It's not boring, but it's kind of now you see a different photographer on YouTube every other month now, wouldn't you? And it's like here we go
Yeah.
again. It's like, come on, I'm going to show you my composition. Oh, wait a minute,
Yeah.
what's in my bag? Let's have a look. You know, it's kind of like
what's in
I
my
think it's a
bag.
shame because like we all want to do that, don't we? When we first start YouTube, like I
Yeah.
can't wait till I get this "what's in my bag" thing. I'm going to feel important. And, no, I think people inviting new kind of things, ways to engage people for the workshops, etc., is a way to go forward, and it's good for the viewer as well. But with I don't know about you guys, but the difference with modern day photography is photographers are showing photographers what to do. They're actually selling to photographers. They're not selling to the public as much because no
Yeah.
one buys prints as much. We're selling to each other. And it's like a circle, and then they make a YouTube channel, and then they do that, and they do it's a vicious circle.
Yeah,
But
it is. It's like that never-ending spiral, isn't it? It
it
just
is, yeah.
carries
It's
on
fun.
and on and
It's
on.
fun because you can meet some great people, don't we?
Yeah.
Cracking personalities, you know.
So,
Yeah. Next
nice.
question.
Well, we went a little bit off topic there, didn't we, Bob?
Yeah, that's my fault.
So, anyway, Paul. Just for anyone got any last questions or anything?
Why photography?
I think it's a good question actually because I've kind of it kept me. Wait, got the football games and being rowdy and beer and drinking etc. and keeping it straight and narrow. Not at all. I think photography was mainly it's kind of point. I was in my 30s. I started to get into it, and I think that when you see you're inspired, and I think what inspires you, and I'm not going to bullshit here. I think it's you guys like YouTube, like you guys, when you watch you guys, because you do get inspired. And I think I'm going to be hypocritical saying no, it wasn't YouTube. Of course it was. I think we're all inspired by Thomas Heatons and guys like that. But no, I think that was one of the catalysts because I started doing sort of photography, street photography, and I think it was like Sean Tucker and guys like that. And I met Sean Tucker when he done I think so three of us now. I met Sean Tucker when he done, oh, there we go. I met Sean Tucker in Edinburgh when he done a workshop, and it was a free one. I would have paid, but the great guy, absolutely great guy. He was absolutely
Great photographer.
Oh, he is. He
Great
talks.
photographer.
Yeah, he talks the talk, and he walks the walk as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Not many of them can do that. I let them do talk the talk, but they certainly don't walk the walk. But he actually went to Edinburgh Museum and started shooting in there, side of the street. Got his piss in the rain outside. That's why. So all kind of went there, and he just walked about, started talking to us all, and the guy can he's so down to earth, He's just so him. And there's a lot of YouTube photographers that some are, but heads are up the backside and they think they're celebrities, etc. This guy is just like asking questions, and he's asking for your feedback on his pictures as well. I was like, well, you're asking me. And there was one guy.
Good, is that, isn't it?
Sorry?
That's good, is that, getting feedback from other people?
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes us all tick, innit? I think feedback would be kind of like zombies walking about and they just get bored because there's no inspiration for anyone. Don't get that.
Yeah.
But
like I said, it's subjective.
If you've got time, I'll tell you this funny story about Sean Tucker. And when I say Sean Tucker, don't worry, Sean, it's not about you. All right? So, it was like we're all sitting after we've done the meeting with each other, and we went for a little cafeteria part in the museum. And there's about 15, 20 people, maybe, I think roughly about that. And there was one guy who just kept on giggling all the time and quite giddy. And I was like, okay, fair enough. He's quite excited to see Sean Tucker, fair enough. He was quite young. I mean, he was about maybe, I don't know, maybe 15, 20, I don't know, something like that. And he started to cry. And I went, oh, Christ, what's the matter? He was going to hear. So anyway, before that, Sean Tucker was going around everyone, giving his phone to everyone so we could put our handle in for Instagram on his phone. So it saves us doing with him. So we're all kind of passing each other's phone. And I'm not going to say the guy's name, obviously, to protect him, but passed it to this guy, and the guy's like, oh, I can't do that. Wait, it's just, Tom wants your handle. He's just too important with it. I was like, oh, okay. Look, Tom, I think Thomas Heaton, sorry, Sean Tucker came along, sat next to him and said, "Look, it's just me, you know." "Oh, but you're on TV, you know. He's on YouTube, man.
Yeah.
And that just summed it up for me. You know, you get fanboys, etc. That summed up for me. There's people have got to. I think when we're on YouTube, is we've got to get the reality saying we're just trying to make a living because if you start as semi-pro, you start as amateur, and you get to the point where you want to sell your images, which is great, which is quite difficult. So workshops is the next thing. And how would you get workshops? Is things what you guys are doing is making things accessible for viewers and to learn about your craft and learn about how you do things and learn about your personality, which is more important, so they can go out and meet you and do the workshops. But that's it. That's your profession. That's what you do. That's what it stops. You're not going to be on the one show for next Friday, for example. You know? But there are certain people who have got this persona, and I think there's a lot of photographers will mention guys like I think Paul Thompson, guys like maybe who I think are really good guys because they're quite down to earth and just really say as it is. And then there's photographers that will just kind of like say, "Oh, I can't do this because I'm not going out on these few weeks because I've got this project thing I'm doing just now." And you never hear of the project. "Oh, I've got a migraine." I was like, get over yourself. I think it's keeping it real, and I think what you guys are doing with this channel, it certainly plays to the Joe Blogs who's interested in photography. Cast your mind back when Thomas Heaton started. That simpleness, where you felt like a fly in a wall watching what he was doing. That's what people loved, and I think that's what's missing. Where everyone's looking for sponsors and things like that, which of course you need because it's only you can make money from YouTube, of course. But there's that thing that people are just kind of they're not giving that personal touch, and I think that's what YouTube needs to get back in again because it needs to. I think the realism is needed again, not so much the kind of sort of overzealous kind of you know what I mean. But
the commercial side.
That's what I think really about YouTube itself. But edit that all. You start talking about it. It was like a David Brent moment there,
Well, yeah. But what we'll do, everyone, we'll link all Paul's channels below. We'll link his
thank you very much.
YouTube channel and his Instagram, so you can nip over there.
Great
stuff. I think that's it. So thank you very much, Paul.
Cheers, Paul.
It's just
guys,
so
been a good one.
people can meet the person behind the images.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, I'll send that black and white one to you guys as well.
That's fine. We'll put all that on. So
cool. Catch you later.
Thank
guys.
you very much.
Cheers, buddy.
So
Cheers.
If any of you guys would like to be on this podcast, show your images, a bit of an interview with yourself about yourself, contact us below, and I'm sure we'll be in touch. So thank you very much for watching. So it's a goodbye from me.
See you guys. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
Goodbye from him. See you guys.
And goodbye from him. So
Cheers,
see you on the next one.
Cheers,
bye
Paul.
for now.
We capture lifestyle through the lens of the cameras. We capture your heart. We're on the streets, searching for the perfect shot. With every click, new beauty is caught.